Arya sat quietly at the kitchen table, her hands folded tightly in her lap. The morning sun was warm on the wooden floor, but it could not ease the cold feeling growing in her chest. Today was the day she would hear the news that would change her life forever. Her mother entered the room carrying a small box. She sat down across from Arya with a serious look on her face. "Arya, there is something important we need to discuss," she said softly. "It is about your future." Arya looked up, her heart beating faster. She had a feeling she already knew what was coming, but she tried to stay calm. "What is it, mother?" she asked. Her mother opened the box carefully. Inside was a small, glowing device that looked like a thin bracelet made of light. "This is a Viren marriage band," her mother explained. "You will wear it when you accept the marriage with Prince Lyre of Vyra." Arya's eyes widened in shock. She shook her head quickly. "No, I will not do this. I do not want to marry someone I do not even know. I want to live my own life." Her mother sighed, her eyes full of sadness. "I understand how you feel, Arya. But this is not just about you. It is about our world, our people, and the future. The leaders of Earth have agreed to this marriage to build peace with Vyra. It is an important alliance." Arya's mind raced. She had heard stories about the aliens from Vyra, how their planet was far away and very different from Earth. She had never met a Vyran, but she had seen pictures and videos. Their skin was pale blue, and their eyes were large and shining like stars. Some people said they were cold and distant. The idea of marrying one of them scared her. "But I am not ready," she whispered. "I am not ready to give up my freedom." Her mother reached across the table and took Arya's hand in hers. "I know, dear. But sometimes, we have to do things for the greater good. This marriage will help both our worlds. You are strong, Arya. You can handle this." Arya looked down at their joined hands. She wanted to believe her mother, but fear and anger filled her heart. How could she be strong when she felt so powerless? Later that day, Arya sat alone in her room, staring out the window at the busy city below. The world around her was moving forward, full of life and opportunity. But she felt stuck, trapped in a future she did not want. Her father's words from earlier echoed in her mind. "You are the key to a new era, Arya. This marriage will bring peace and hope. You must be brave." She clenched her fists, trying to find courage. Maybe she could be brave. But how could she marry someone from a strange planet, someone she did not know? How could she trust that this alien prince would be kind or understanding? The next morning, a message arrived from the government. Arya was to travel to Vyra in 2 days. She had no choice but to obey. Her fate was sealed. Arya packed her belongings slowly, her heart heavy. She took only what she needed: simple clothes, a small book of earth poetry, and the glowing bracelet from her mother. The bracelet was a reminder of the promise she had to keep, even if she did not want to. On the day of her departure, Arya stood at the spaceport, surrounded by people saying goodbye. Her mother hugged her tightly, tears shining in her eyes. "Be strong, my daughter," she whispered. Arya nodded, trying to hold back her own tears. She stepped onto the sleek starship that would take her far from Earth to a world she had only dreamed about. As the ship lifted off, Arya looked back at the shrinking blue planet. She felt a mix of fear and determination. She did not want this marriage, but she would face it with all the courage she could find. The journey to Vyra was long and quiet. Arya spent most of her time looking out the windows at the stars. The vast darkness of space made her feel small, but also connected to something greater. She thought about the stories she had heard about humans, how they were brave and full of hope even in the darkest times. Maybe, she thought, she could be one of those humans. Maybe she could change her destiny. For now, she would prepare herself. When she reached Vyra, she would meet the prince and his family. She would learn their ways, and she would stand strong. Arya was not ready to accept her fate yet, but she was ready to face the unknown. The starship hummed quietly as it moved through the endless blackness of space. Arya sat in a small cabin, her hands resting on her lap. Outside the window, stars twinkled like distant diamonds, and the vast emptiness made her feel both small and curious. This was her journey to Vyra, the alien planet she was to call home soon. Arya took a deep breath. She still could not believe she was leaving Earth behind. Everything she had ever known was now far away, and her future was tied to a strange world and a stranger she had never met. The idea frightened her, but also sparked a small hope inside. The ship's door opened gently, and a woman stepped inside. She wore a uniform with soft blue colors and a calm smile. "Hello," she said kindly. "My name is Myra. I will help you learn about Vyra during your journey." Arya stood up, surprised but thankful. "Thank you," she replied softly. "I want to understand everything before I arrive." Myra nodded. "That is good. Vyra is very different from Earth, but you will find many things here that are familiar. The Vyrans are proud and careful people. They respect honor and strength." Arya listened carefully. She wanted to learn, to be ready. "What is the prince like?" she asked quietly. Myra's eyes grew serious. "Prince Lyre is a strong leader. He is wise beyond his years and cares deeply for his people. But he is also cautious. He has not met many humans, and the future is uncertain for all of us." Arya felt a flicker of nervousness. She wished she could meet him soon. "Will he like me?" she wondered aloud. Myra smiled gently. "You must be yourself. That is the best way to build trust." The days passed slowly as the ship crossed millions of miles. Arya spent hours reading about Vyran history and culture on the ship's screen. She learned that Vyra was a world of shining cities built among tall trees and glowing rivers. The Vyrans were known for their skill in science and art, but also for their strict rules and traditions. One evening, as Arya watched the stars, she thought about Earth. The people she loved, the sounds of the city, and the feel of the wind on her face. She missed it all deeply, but she knew she had to be brave. Suddenly, the ship's lights dimmed. A calm voice announced, "We will soon enter Vyran space. Prepare for arrival." Arya's heart beat faster. She was about to step onto a new world. She changed into the dress the Vyran royal tailor had sent to her. It was light and flowing, made from a soft fabric that shimmered gently in the light. When the ship landed, Arya took a deep breath and stepped out. The air was cooler here, filled with the scent of strange flowers and fresh rain. The city before her was unlike anything she had seen. Tall towers reached toward the sky, their surfaces shining with light. People with pale blue skin and bright eyes walked calmly through the streets. A small group waited to welcome her. At their center stood a tall man with calm eyes and a kind smile. This was Prince Lyre. Arya's heart pounded as she bowed politely. "Welcome to Vyra, Arya," he said. His voice was gentle but strong. "We are honored by your arrival." Arya looked up, trying to hide her nervousness. "Thank you, Your Highness," she said. "I hope to learn and understand your world." Prince Lyre nodded. "That is good. We will take time. This is not just a marriage, but a partnership between two worlds. As they moved through the city, Arya noticed the careful way people greeted them. There was respect but also distance. She knew many watched her closely, waiting to see what she would do. That evening, Arya was taken to the royal palace. It was a beautiful place filled with soft lights and quiet halls. She was shown to her room, where she found a small note waiting for her. It was from Princess Tira, the prince's younger sister. The note was polite but brief. "I look forward to meeting you soon," it said. Arya felt a mix of curiosity and worry. She had heard stories that Princess Tira was strong and serious, with sharp eyes that seemed to see through everything. What would their meeting be like? That night, Arya lay awake, thinking about everything she had seen and heard. She realized that this world was full of mystery and challenge. But she also felt something new, a quiet hope that maybe she could find her place here. She was still afraid of the future, but now she was ready to face it. The next morning, Arya woke to the soft light filtering through the tall windows of the palace. She dressed carefully in a simple gown the palace had provided, one that matched the colors of Vira's morning sky. Her heart beat fast as she prepared to meet the royal family. A servant led her through wide marble halls filled with delicate plants and soft music. Arya felt both small and important. The palace was beautiful, but its silence made her nervous. At last, they reached a large room where the Viran royal family waited. Standing tall was King Zevran, a man with silver hair and wise eyes. Next to him was Queen Illyra, graceful and kind, her smile warm but measured. And then, Arya saw her, the Princess Tira, the younger sister of Prince Lyr. Tira was striking with her pale blue skin and sharp, bright eyes that seemed to look right through Arya. Her long dark hair fell over her shoulders like a river of night. Princess Tira did not smile. She only nodded slightly, watching Arya as if she were a puzzle to solve. Arya tried to return the nod but felt the princess's gaze like a cold wind. King Zevran spoke first. "Arya, we welcome you to Vira. This union is important for both our worlds. We hope to build trust and friendship." Arya bowed respectfully. "Thank you, your majesties. I want to understand your world and do my part." Queen Illyra's eyes softened. "That is good to hear, Arya. We know this is difficult for you." Arya nodded. "It is. But I will try." The conversation continued with questions about Earth and Arya's life. She spoke honestly, sharing stories of her home, her family, and her dreams. The royal family listened with interest. But Princess Tira remained quiet. Her eyes never left Arya, studying every movement and word. Arya felt uneasy but curious. After the meeting, a servant brought Arya to a quiet garden filled with glowing flowers. She sat on a stone bench, thinking about the strange feelings the princess's gaze had stirred in her. Suddenly, a voice spoke softly nearby. "You are brave to face all this." Arya turned to see Princess Tira standing by a tree, her expression unreadable. "I did not expect you to be so calm," Tira said quietly. Arya stood, surprised. "I do not know what to expect. This is all new to me." Tira nodded slowly. "Neither is it easy for me. Our worlds are very different. Many here do not trust humans." Arya looked into Tira's eyes, seeing something deeper than coldness. "Why do you watch me like that? What do you think of me?" The princess hesitated. "I think you are strong. Stronger than I imagined." Arya was surprised by the compliment. "Thank you. I want to learn from you and your people." Tira's expression softened for a moment. Then you will need to understand more than just words. Our history is long and filled with challenges. Arya sat back down, eager to hear more. Tell me about Vyra. About your people. Tira sighed and looked up at the glowing sky. Vyra is a place of beauty but also of rules. We value honor above all. Our family has led for generations. We protect our people and keep the peace. Arya nodded slowly. And the marriage? Is it only politics, or something more? Tira smiled faintly. It is mostly politics. But sometimes, even politics can change because of people. The two young women sat quietly, sharing a moment of understanding. For the first time, Arya felt a connection beyond their differences. That evening, Arya returned to her room with a new feeling. The palace no longer seemed so cold and distant. There was hope in the way the princess had spoken, hope that maybe this marriage could mean more than duty. But questions still filled her mind. Would the prince be as strong and kind as Tira said? Would she find a place in this strange new world? As Arya lay in bed, she thought about the future. She did not want to lose herself, but maybe, just maybe, she could grow into someone stronger, someone worthy of both Earth and Vyra. The next day promised new challenges and new meetings. Arya knew her journey had only just begun. The royal palace buzzed with excitement. The day of the formal gathering to welcome Arya had arrived. It was an event that brought together the highest officials of Vyra, diplomats, and important guests from many parts of the galaxy. The palace halls were decorated with glowing banners and floating lights that moved gently like fireflies. Arya stood before a large mirror, adjusting the soft gown she had been given. It was simple but elegant, made of a shimmering fabric that reflected the soft colors of the Vyran sky. Her hands trembled slightly. She knew all eyes would be on her tonight. A gentle knock came at the door. Princess Tira stepped inside. She looked calm but serious. "Are you ready?" she asked quietly. Arya nodded. "I think so. But I am still afraid." Tira's eyes softened for a moment. "It is normal. But remember, you have strength that many do not see." Together, they walked through the grand halls toward the gathering. The crowd parted to let them pass. Arya could feel the curious and cautious eyes on her, but she held her head high. When they entered the main hall, Arya saw Prince Lyre waiting near the center. He was tall and strong, his pale blue skin glowing softly under the lights. His eyes met hers with a calm but unreadable expression. The prince stepped forward and bowed respectfully. "Welcome, Arya," he said. His voice was clear and steady. "We are honored by your arrival." Arya returned the bow. "Thank you, Your Highness. I hope to learn and work together for peace." As the guests mingled and talked, Arya felt a mix of excitement and nervousness. People asked her questions about Earth and her life. She answered politely, trying to show respect and confidence. Suddenly, a hush fell over the room. Arya turned to see Princess Tira standing frozen near a tall window. Her face had lost all color, and her eyes were wide, fixed on Arya as if she could not believe what she saw. The crowd noticed and stopped their conversations. A few people whispered nervously. Even Prince Lyre looked surprised and concerned. Arya stepped closer to the princess, her voice soft. "Are you all right, Tira?" Tira did not move or speak. It was as if time had stopped for her. Arya felt a strange chill but did not understand why. After a moment, Tira slowly blinked and shook her head as if waking from a deep thought. She took a deep breath and turned to Arya with a faint, uneasy smile. "I apologize," Tira said quietly. It is nothing. Just a moment of surprise. Arya nodded but remained curious. She wondered what could have caused such a reaction. It was clear that the princess's feelings about her were more complicated than she had expected. Later, away from the crowd, Arya found a quiet corridor and leaned against the cool wall. She thought about the strange moment with Tira. There was something deeper beneath the princess's calm exterior. Just then, Myra, the ship's guide, appeared beside her. "You handled the event well," Myra said kindly. "But did you notice Tira's reaction?" Arya nodded. "Yes. It was very strange." "Why do you think she froze like that?" Myra looked thoughtful. "The Virans have a long history with humans. We have legends about them, stories passed down through many generations. Humans are known for their strength and courage in ways that even we do not fully understand." Arya frowned. "Legends? What kind of legends?" Myra smiled softly. "Some say humans once helped the Virans in times of great danger. Others believe humans have a unique power of hope and resilience that is rare in the galaxy." Arya felt a warm feeling grow inside her chest. "So, maybe Tira's surprise was because she saw something familiar in me." "Perhaps," Myra said. "Or maybe she saw something new. The future is uncertain, but you have already begun to change many minds here." Arya looked back toward the hall where the gathering continued. She felt a new confidence. Maybe this marriage was not only a duty. Maybe it was the start of something greater. As the night went on, Arya stayed close to Princess Tira and Prince Lyre. The three of them shared quiet conversations about their worlds and their hopes. For the first time, Arya felt like she was more than a visitor or a political tool. She felt like someone who could make a difference. The stars outside the palace shone brightly, lighting the path ahead. Arya knew the journey would be difficult, but she was ready to face it. The morning light poured through the tall windows of the royal library. Arya sat at a large table covered with old books and glowing tablets. Princess Tira stood nearby, watching her with a quiet, thoughtful expression. Arya had asked to learn more about Vyra's history and culture. She wanted to understand the people she was joining and the strange reaction Tira had that night. Tira finally spoke. "Our history is long, but there is one story most do not know. It is about the ancient bond between our people and humans." Arya looked up in surprise. "A bond? What kind of bond?" Tira nodded. "Many centuries ago, humans and Virans lived closer than we do now. There was a time when we fought side by side against dangers in the galaxy. Humans were brave warriors and clever thinkers. Your people helped save Vyra from great threats." Arya's eyes widened. She had never heard this before. Why did this history disappear? Why don't most people know about it? Tira sighed. "Over time, our worlds grew apart. The records were lost or hidden. Some leaders believed it was better to forget. Fear and politics changed how we saw each other." Arya felt a deep sadness. "That is so unfair. Humans helped you, and now we are strangers." Tira stepped closer. "That is why my reaction was strong. When I saw you, I felt the memory of that bond, even if I could not explain it. It was like seeing a piece of the past come to life." Arya reached out and took Tira's hand gently. "Thank you for telling me. It means a lot." Tira smiled softly. "There is more. The Virans have a special way of remembering the past. It is in our genes, passed down like a quiet voice." Arya listened carefully as Tira explained how Viran science had discovered ancient memories hidden deep within their DNA. These memories could awaken when they met someone connected to their history. "You are that connection, Arya," Tira said. "You carry the hope of that ancient friendship. It is why you are important." Arya felt a new sense of purpose. She was not just a visitor or a political symbol. She was a living link between two worlds that once trusted each other. Over the next days, Arya and Tira spent more time together. They walked through the palace gardens and studied old texts. Tira taught Arya about Viran customs and the meaning behind their traditions. Arya shared stories of Earth, the music, the people, the dreams of freedom and peace. Tira listened with growing respect and curiosity. Their friendship grew slowly but surely. Arya realized that the princess was not cold or distant as she had first thought. She was cautious, yes, but also wise and kind. One evening, as the two sat beneath a sky filled with glowing stars, Tira looked at Arya with a serious expression. "You have changed many minds here already. People are beginning to see humans differently because of you." Arya smiled shyly. "I never thought I could make a difference." Tira shook her head. "You already have. This marriage is more than politics. It is a chance for our people to heal and grow." Arya felt a deep warmth in her heart. For the first time, she believed that she could belong here, in this strange new world. She was no longer just a girl forced into an arranged marriage. She was a bridge between two worlds, carrying the hopes of many. The future was still uncertain, but Arya was ready to face it with courage and strength. Days passed quietly in the royal palace, but Arya could feel change in the air. Her friendship with Princess Tira was growing stronger, and the people of Vyra were beginning to look at her differently. Still, the most important meeting was yet to come, her time alone with Prince Lyre. One bright morning, a messenger arrived to say the prince wished to speak with Arya in the palace's grand hall. Her heart beat faster as she prepared. She wondered what Prince Lyre thought of her. Would he accept her? Would he be kind? When Arya entered the grand hall, she found Prince Lyre waiting near a tall window that looked out over the glowing city. His pale blue skin seemed almost to shine in the soft light. He smiled gently, but his eyes held a serious look. "Welcome, Arya," he said with calm respect. "I have been watching your progress. You are stronger than many expected." Arya bowed. "Thank you, Your Highness. I am trying to learn and understand." Prince Lyre nodded. "That is good. But strength is more than learning facts. It is also about heart and courage." He stepped closer. "There is a tradition among the Virans when a new member joins our royal family. You must face a challenge. It is a test of your spirit." Arya's eyes widened. "A challenge? What kind of challenge?" The prince smiled softly. "It is a trial of courage and will. You will enter the labyrinth of light. It is an ancient place beneath the palace. Few have dared to enter." Arya swallowed hard. She had heard stories of the labyrinth. It was said to be a maze of shifting lights and shadows, designed to test a person's mind and heart. Many had failed. Prince Lyre's voice was kind but firm. "This is not just a test for you. It is a way for me to understand you better. To see your true self." Arya took a deep breath. She felt a mix of fear and determination. "I will do it." That evening, Arya was led to the entrance of the labyrinth beneath the palace. The air was cool and filled with a soft glow from glowing stones embedded in the walls. As she stepped inside, the passage shifted around her. Lights flickered, creating strange patterns on the walls. The labyrinth was silent except for the soft sound of her footsteps. Arya's heart pounded as she moved deeper. She faced many paths, each one changing as she walked. The walls sometimes glowed warmly, sometimes coldly. At one point, she saw visions, images of her life on Earth. Her family, her friends, the city she loved. She felt a deep longing but kept moving forward. Then the labyrinth showed her shadows, doubts, fears, and worries. Voices whispered that she was not strong enough, that she did not belong here. Arya stopped and closed her eyes. "No," she said softly. "I am stronger than fear. I will not give up." Her voice echoed through the labyrinth. The shadows faded, and a warm light appeared before her. At last, Arya reached the center of the labyrinth. There, a small glowing crystal floated above a pedestal. She reached out and touched it. A feeling of peace and strength filled her. The labyrinth's light surrounded her, and the passage shifted once more to lead her out. When Arya returned to the grand hall, Prince Lyre was waiting. He looked at her with respect and a new warmth. "You have passed the test," he said. "You have shown courage and strength beyond what I expected." Arya smiled shyly. "Thank you, Your Highness. It was difficult, but I learned a lot." Prince Lyre stepped closer. "You have not only passed the trial but also my trust. I look forward to building a future together." Arya felt her heart swell with hope. For the first time, she saw the prince not as a stranger or a duty, but as a partner. Someone who believed in her. That night, as Arya looked out over the glowing city of Vyra, she felt a quiet peace. The journey was still long, but she was no longer alone. She was ready to face the future with courage, strength, and an open heart. The sun rose slowly over the shining towers of Vyra, casting soft light across the palace gardens. Arya stood by a tall window, looking out at the beautiful world that was now becoming her home. The journey she had traveled was long and filled with uncertainty, but now she felt something new: hope. The days had passed since the labyrinth challenge. Prince Lyre had shown kindness and trust. Princess Tira had become a true friend. The royal family had accepted her not just as a guest, but as a part of their world. Yet, Arya knew that the most important moment was still ahead: the official ceremony to unite Earth and Vyra through their marriage. The great hall was filled with guests from many planets, diplomats, and leaders. The air was thick with excitement and the promise of a new future. Arya wore a simple yet elegant dress that shimmered like starlight. She took a deep breath and stepped forward, her heart steady. Prince Lyre waited for her at the front of the hall. His eyes met hers with warmth and respect. As they stood together, the crowd quieted, waiting for the ceremony to begin. King Zevran spoke first. "Today, we witness the joining of two worlds. This marriage is not only a bond of love but a symbol of peace and friendship." Queen Illyra smiled softly. "May this union bring hope and strength to both Earth and Vyra." Arya felt the weight of those words, but also the promise they held. She looked at Prince Lyre and saw a future full of possibilities. The ceremony was simple but beautiful. They exchanged vows, promising to support each other and work for the good of their people. When Prince Lyre gently took Arya's hand, she felt a warmth spread through her. It was a feeling she had never expected but welcomed with an open heart. After the ceremony, the celebration began. Music filled the air, and people from different worlds shared stories, laughter, and dreams. Arya danced with Prince Lyre and Princess Tira by her side. The night was alive with light and hope. Later, as the stars shone brightly above the palace, Arya and Lyre stood on a balcony, looking out over the glowing city. "You have changed many hearts here," Lyre said quietly. Not just mine, but all of Vyra. Arya smiled. I was afraid at first. But now, I believe we can build something new. Together. Lyra nodded. Together. In the days that followed, Arya learned more about her role not only as a partner to the prince but as a bridge between worlds. She met leaders from Earth and Vyra, helping to plan ways to share knowledge, culture, and friendship. Princess Kira often joined her, and their bond grew stronger. The princess no longer watched Arya with suspicion but with respect and care. They worked side by side to help their people understand the importance of this new alliance. Arya thought often about her family on Earth. Though far away, she felt their support and love in her heart. She knew her journey was part of something larger, a chance to bring peace between two very different worlds. One afternoon, as Arya walked through the palace gardens, she noticed a small group of children playing nearby. They were from Earth and Vyra, laughing and running together without worry. The sight filled her with joy. She understood now what she was fighting for, a future where differences could be celebrated, where fear could be replaced by friendship. That evening, as the twin moons of Vyra rose in the sky, Arya stood with Prince Lyra and Princess Kira. They looked toward the horizon, ready to face whatever challenges might come. Arya felt the strength of her new family and the power of hope. She was no longer a girl forced into a marriage. She was a part of something greater, something full of promise. Her heart was open, her spirit strong. The future belonged to them all.